Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for watching. Sorry about the delay. There was having some internet connectivity issues there, and with these videos, it takes so much my Wi-Fi. Sometimes it cuts out there. So back active and live right now. So first, today our topic is listing presentations. Now, in today's market, it's getting tougher and tougher. I mean, in all the years of being in real estate, today the listing presentation is probably, because there's lots of competition out there, is very important. There's so many different ways to do a listing presentation and ideas from different coaches and different trainers. And I came down to about 10 things that I think are very important. But I can't go into 100% detail because some of these things are priority or secret, because a lot of agents, a lot of companies don't want to know, let everybody know exactly what they say to sellers, because they're competition. Everyone watching this is competition with each other. So number one, before we get in the list, is you have to customize yours to say things that the other agent is not going to say. So, or miss, or you got to enhance. What are you going to do differently than the other agent? If you are with a major company, a major brand in the area, and all you're doing is using the listing presentation that your company gives you and going through that, you're going to have competition maybe within your same company or with your same brand. So again, you got to be specific. So let me go through a few things. Number one, make sure all decision makers are there at the house. You know, husband and wife, siblings, everybody who's a decision maker is at the house, or you're doing a virtual listing presentation. Kind of like, where are all the decision makers? Because so many times I've had agents say, hey, I got a listing. They're signing with me. And next thing you know, the husband comes home, the partner, they didn't see that and didn't know they were talking to other agents on their side of things. And then all of a sudden you find out, oh, I'm sorry, my husband, my wife, my partner, whoever else is the decision maker was talking to someone else, and we were really going to go with them. And you didn't even know you're up for, comparables. They're comparing you. So number one, make sure when you're doing your presentation, everybody's present. And now, especially with COVID, more people are doing virtual, Zoom. That's even better. Two, because two people could be in two different locations. I've had agents, so back to that first one, someone's at work, someone's at home, they're both at work, one's out of town, they're out of town. We used to wait till they had time to sit down. I've had agents tell me they're on FaceTime with people and they're at their kids' sporting events, wherever you could get a hold of them. Two, a lot of times agents, when they go into a listing presentation, let's say information dump. They just they're just going through everything and not even asking any questions, just totally going into information dump of all the things they're going to do, all the pros of using them, and just blurting it all out there. But you really got to ask questions first. You really should be asking questions of what's important to them, what they're looking for, so you could customize some of your presentation on that. Because you might have a presentation that's like a deluxe model, everything in there so big, so long, that there are things that you'll lose their attention by. So make sure you ask lots of questions, like what's most important to them? Have they sold a house before? What do they like or did not like about the process? Did they enjoy working with their agent? If they sold a house not like 30 years ago or 20 years ago, one of the questions is, why aren't they using the same agent? Why aren't they using the same agent they used before? And then you'll find out, maybe they're out of business. Maybe they never heard back from them. Maybe they don't like them. They're things that they did. So have a list of questions so you can customize your program or your presentation. Three, have a video or some of your marketing customized to the house. What I mean by that is that you can spend some time, maybe going to the house, the day before or whatever, taking a video of an example of what you're going to do, like a coming soon video of what you're going to do for marketing wise. Like, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I just want to show you this. I came out here because before I came out here, I was doing some research in your neighborhood to find out what houses are selling, what's are buying. Or you could even say I was in your neighborhood because I have other buyers that I'm showing houses or going on other listing presentations to show them that you were in the neighborhood. You went there, and that the only time you were there is when you're there for the listing appointment. And do maybe a coming soon video of something that's saying that this is kind of a video I'm going to do for you, and I'm going to post it to my Facebook. I'm going to do a Facebook ad and target market people. I'm going to send it to my sphere of influence in the area. I have other buyers and sellers that I've had in the area. They might have people there. Whatever you're doing, show that you're going to target market people. And that brings me to the next thing, showing how you're going to target market people. So this is kind of number 4, is explaining to them what type of buyer you feel might be looking for this house. Maybe first-time home buyer, empty nester, a family, single person, someone, depending upon where the house is and location to schools, parks, whatever. You're going to target market that. There's ways to, you have to show your sellers, potential future sellers, hopefully get the listing, is that what you're going to do extra other than throw it on the MLS. Because some other agents might not show them other things that they're going to do above and beyond our normal marketing that almost every agent can do. So you could dazzle them with, well, listen, I target market people on Facebook. I looked on Facebook. I looked at for your demographic in this area, your demographic in the area, which you can get right on the MLS and Realist, and it'll give you demographics of people who live in an area. This is the average age is this age, this age. The average income is this age, this age. The average, children and families. You could get the demographics of an area and say that I could use that demographic to go and target market those people with Facebook ads that live in your area, in this area, that are a target market, the buyers that are specifically in your neighborhood. So it just shows them that you're doing something extra to really see what you're doing. 5, of course, easy, is be on time and be ready and be in the right mindset. You can't just show up and be, I've seen this happen. Agents like, oh, I didn't get the list, I was late, or my last appointment ran late, or even got lost. What kind of agent, if they got lost getting to the house and couldn't find the house? That doesn't make you look good when you're like, oh, I had trouble finding the house. I'm not familiar with the neighborhood. Sometimes things just fall out of your mouth and they're right there. One little sentence like that could really kill your potential of getting that listing. So be on time, be ready, have the mindset, be early if you can on that. 6, your marketing expertise and reviews. Of course, your listing presentation should have all of your marketing that you, your company, your brand are going to do. And just shout out to our Century 21 HomeStar agents. Wow, we have great listing presentations with every bit of beautiful presentations you can have. They could be mobile, they could be video, they could be printed. So if you need any help with that, please reach out to the office. We'll help you with that. But make sure all your marketing is there. And then second, make sure you have your expertise of you. Now, this is what I stress to agents, all agents. Even if you're not listening to this, it's a little trick, not even a trick. It's just sometimes agents forget or think that they're on their own. I do this every time. I have agents that say, oh, well, I'm newer, I've only had a few sales, or I haven't had any sales in that area. Use the advantage. Your broker, your office is part of you. If you're with an office that has had, thousands and thousands of sales in an area, use that. Meet with your office manager, your team leader, your brokerage, your broker, to show how many houses you've sold in the area, or sold in the city, or sold in general in Northeast Ohio or Ohio, and to show, or your brand. it's not just you, because there's people behind you, and there's a company behind you, and there's a brand behind you helping market your home. It's not just you. So I tell this to any agent. If you, and so many times I've heard agents go, I'm going up against this team from this company. Don't worry, we'll blow them out of the water. It doesn't matter. They're not alone. You have a company and a brand behind you. So if that top team is using those numbers that they have to try to entice those people, you could have those numbers too. Your company has them. It's your broker's listing too. Your company's listing too. So you could use that if your company will allow you. Our company, Century 21 HomeStar, let me rephrase that. You got to ask your company if that's okay for them. Hopefully it is. But here at Century 21 HomeStar, of course, use our company numbers, use my numbers, use my experience, use our office experience. You can, because we're behind you 100% of the time, all the time, with your listings. So don't worry about going toe-to-toe with a top team. 7, price strategies. Oh, I'm sorry, let me go back. Reviews. Get reviews. Every one of your sales, you should get reviews. Should get a Google review. Get a Zillow review. If you don't already know, you could get a free. You can log into Zillow. It's free for agents, and start getting reviews there. You got to show reviews online, or Century 21 HomeStar and Century 21 agents. We have Real Satisfied that go out to all of our clients. You could send those out to past clients if they haven't gotten one or didn't get it. You've got to have reviews, and they got to be online. You got to show people, look, because that's more live. The old style of us was in a book. In our listing presentation, we would print them out. You could do that too, but they want to see them online, because you know that you can't type them up. We used to back in the day. Someone would give us reviews, and we would just type them up on our page in our presentation. Joe S. in whatever city. Tony did great job, sold my house, was so easy to work with, that kind of thing. We used to write them down and show them these reviews. Sometimes I've seen agents use those, and they were in their presentation for 10 years. This is 10 years ago. Those are the same reviews. So the online ones, people know on Zillow, on Realtor.com, on any online portal like Real Satisfied, you could show people. They know that they're not in Google. They're not as, you can't just type them up. You personally, someone's got to enter them in there and put them in there, and they could see the date and when they did it. Kind of if you're ever familiar with Yelp, if you go on Yelp in the restaurant reviews, you can see when's the last time someone did a review, when it was, how old it was. That was 10 years ago. You're looking at fresh reviews. So always make sure you get a review on everybody that you can, and start building your reviews. Doesn't matter if you have 100 or 10, you got to have some. 7, price strategies. You got to show them your price strategy, maybe in a different way. Like, this is the price that I know your house is going to sell quickly, and maybe you have a bidding war and you're going to have people bidding again. This is the price that I feel the price range of what I think your house, your fair market value right now, based on the comparables in this range here, and we'll get a good fair price for it. And this is the price that kind of needle in the haystack, that someone that's looking, it's definitely like a family member that has a friend or a family on the street, and they definitely want in the street, or someone that's been dying to get in this neighborhood because they lived here as a child. We could look for those people, and you could show them that needle in a haystack. Because if you don't give them those 3 things, bidding war, if you don't give them those 3 things, so many times there are agents out there, spoiler alert, there are agents out there that just give them the high one, the needle in the haystack. And I've agents losing listings because someone is telling them they think their house is worth more than the fair market value. So you give them, and you describe that. Why? Here's the price, fair market value. Here's a price where people go, wow, this is a steal. Maybe we'll get multiple offers. And this is a price that most people go, it looks a little high than the market, but we might find that one person that really wants this house. But Mr. and Miss Seller, that's going to take some time to find. It's kind of like a little bit of a lottery. It's a some chance. You might find the right person at the right time, especially in this market. Things are going higher. You know what I'm finding? It's the first time, more often, is that sellers are getting upset at listing agents because they list their house at fair market value. It's sold for $15,000 over asking price. Now they're getting upset at their listing. Go, why didn't you know that? Why didn't you know that that might sell at over asking price? So if you show them those three things and go, which way you want to price your house, and then if they say you're needle in a haystack of that one person that will overpay or pay over market price, they really want this house or in this neighborhood because of lack of inventory, you don't look like you didn't tell them that was possible. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, this is possible. And then when that happens, and you go, I'm glad it happened. We found the right buyer that's going to pay over asking price, and they were out there. We didn't know how much they were even out there until we put it on the open market, and that's where it is. So, price strategies. 8, commission conversation about your commission. So I'm not going to go into too much detail because it's specific to agents and what they're going to do and how they present it, but you have to show them. And I'm going to give you one sentence, one thing that I've been using forever that I saw. I think it was Brian Buffini used this one years ago in one of his presentations, is that, so you have to show your value. You got to show your value of why you're charging this commission. You got to explain to them what goes you, what goes the other agent, maybe what goes to your company, so they don't think you make the whole 6-7% or whatever you're charging. You have to have this down to a science and say it with a lot of enthusiasm, so to say, or with a lot of you're worth it. That you know your worth, and you're not wishy-washy about it, like, well, or anything like that. But here's the quote, is that when someone asks you to lower your commission and you can't, and especially after you explain how the commission works and all the things you're going to do and all of that, if they still ask you to lower your commission and you explain to that Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I just went over everything that I'm going to do, all of the things they're doing. I know 100% all my marketing and the effort and the extra things and all going above and beyond and going the extra mile and being available and updates and negotiating the highest and best price for your house. I know that's why that is my price for commission to do everything that I'm doing. But if I actually agreed to lower my price, how would you feel? How confident would you feel for me negotiating the price of your house? If I can't explain and negotiate and show my value and how much my value is worth that, any agent that was easily cuts their commission, would you really feel comfortable with them negotiating the best and best price for your house? Or are they just going to go, okay, when the buyer's agent comes in with an offer, and how comfortable are you going to say, no, that's too low. We want this house is worth this. That's the person you want. So make that your own. Take that kind of verbiage and make it your own. So you're comfortable saying, so it's not like a script, but that's what you want to explain to them. So that's all I want to go about commission. Could go on for hours on that. 9 is be ready for objections. You should know the objections, the price objections. I want to price higher. Lower your commission. What makes you better? I'm interviewing other agents. What makes you and your company better than this company? All the normal objections. I'm hoping that any agent watching this that has a lot of experience with listing presentation have had lots of objections and they know the normal things. But if you don't, if you're a newer agent, or if you haven't been on many listing appointments, or you get those slam dunk listings that just friends, relatives, you didn't have to go through a listing presentation with them because they know you and they trust you and they don't even want to see what you can do. They just trust you. That happens, but feel free to any Century 21 HomeStar agent or any agent out there. I'm happy to kind of go over that with you. Is that you got to be ready with normal objections and that you're not off guard. If you look like you're off guard, like you never had that question before, or you don't have an answer, quick answer back, that's something to convince them that they feel comfortable that you answer their question or objection correctly, or they're to their liking, you've got to be ready for objection. And 10, finally, you've got to explain, you kind of wrap it all up, ask them questions, Mr. Are you happy with my marketing presentation? I mean, are you ready to make the decision today? And see what they say, yes or no. If they say no, I said, are you interviewing other agents or companies? I'd be happy to compare. If they're saying things I would like to compare with that, remind them of the things that you do differently. Know your competition. So ask them if they're interviewing anybody, if you don't mind me asking. Don't put down anybody. Never say anything that they're doing wrong or they don't do. Tell them all the things that you're doing more that you think that they might not be doing. So, because the best thing that can happen when they're comparing you with someone else, they hear all the things that you're doing extra, and when they interview them and they're not mentioning the same things you are, then it's like tick, 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 and then like, oh, only 3 things here, and you got 10 things here. They're not doing a video, they're not doing target marketing on Facebook, they're not giving the 3 price strategies, they're not telling them everything their company does. They only say, well, I sold 10 houses last year and not even in this market. Well, they explain just what they sold. They didn't explain everything their company does or brand does. So you make sure that you kind of give them the final sale, find out if they're interviewing anybody else, find out when they're going to make their decision. If they want to make that decision now, they can do that too. And also just make sure that you follow up. So like, when would you like me to follow up? And never wait to that exact date. Make the date before. So they say, well, when do you think you make a decision? Well, we want to list by next week sometime. Don't wait till next week to follow up with them. Follow up with them within a day or two, or next day. Text, call, something. You've got to follow up, because so many agents, if they have someone interview with them afterwards, if they're the last person they interview, sometimes that person gets it because they're just already there. They listened to their proposal. You were the first of 3 or 4, and they were the last. So you always want to give them the opportunity to talk to you again, review everything that you've gone over, so they can get a refresher. So you could also say, and I'd like to say, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, when you're interviewing other agents, sometimes, I mean, again, you're going to hear lots of different things about all the great things that agent's going to do. But I would love the opportunity to speak with you again after interviewing everybody to recap everything we have, because you don't have to sit here and memorize everything everybody does. You're going to have my listing presentation with you so you can review that, but I would love to go over everything in detail. And also you could say, listen, I didn't want to keep 3 hours of your time. I could have went into detail specifically of all of the little things that I'm going to do, like from start to finish. It could be like an hour class. I don't want to keep you for 3 hours. I wanted to give you the overview of everything that I'm going to be doing. But if you need specifics to compare to other services and other companies, I'm happy to do that for you. Things like that. So, but again, any Century 21 HomeStar agents, I love role playing. I love role playing. I love with your listing presentations. I love showing you objections, like you're the seller, what I would say, give you ideas. I love doing that. So if you want to learn on how to do a great listing presentation, if you want to build a presentation and kind of role play, and before you go out, I love to do that. I do that several times a week with agents that are about to go on listing presentations. We kind of get them going, get them their blood pumping. Okay, you got to be ready for this, be ready for that. I love that. And to win over other companies in your competition is awesome. I love that, and I want to be part of it. So reach out to me if you need me. So that's it today. And any agent out there, if you use me as a resource, feel free to call or text me. If you need help with a listing presentation, I'll be happy to help you too. Have a great day, everyone. And tomorrow at 11, I hope my internet will be working perfectly, but we have some motivation tomorrow on Friday. Have a good one. Bye-bye.